Next question comes from Tina. She writes, I currently make less than the $117,000 limit for single filers for contributing to a Roth IRA. In June, I will be getting married. Hey, Yay. June bride, congratulations. And our combined income will exceed the $194,000 limit for married filers. Since this change happens midway through the year, am I allowed to contribute to my Roth IRA, or am I out of luck for contributing this year? Do you have any recommendations for combining our finances when we get married as well?
So, as far as the IRS is concerned, for a certain tax year, you are married or single depending on your status on the last day of that year. So if she is married on December 31st, she is considered married throughout that whole year, which based on what she tells us here, she will not be eligible to contribute to the Roth.
Oh, sorry.
Right.
Sorry, Tina.
Right. Now, I always like to point out that there is no limit to contributing to a Roth 401k. So if that option is available at your office, you can do that. But the Roth is not available.
All right. What about any recommendations for combining finances when she gets married? Aside from listening to our Divorce Proof Your Finances episode, which was last year, roughly.
Well, you update your various legal documents, your will and estate plan if you've actually done something like that, and your beneficiary form. So if you've signed up for a 401k at work, you had to designate someone to inherit it if you pass away. And if you weren't married, you probably did like your mom and your dad or something like that. Well, now it's time to update that. You probably have property or accounts that are in your own name. You just decide whether you want to move those to joint accounts. Do you want to retitle the property into joint ownership? It depends. There are pros and cons on both sides, but really it comes down to how do we want to own the property? I assume at some point, for most married couples, they do decide on a joint account. And that's helpful for so many reasons, like when you're calling the bank and you want to do something with that account. If it's not jointly owned, if it's owned by the spouse, they're not going to let you do anything.
Yeah, and I think, one other thing is I know a lot of couples, at least in sort of my demographic, that are leaving their finances separate for all intents and purposes, at least at the start of marriage. And then when they have a kid or something, that's when you finally take the dive and combine finances. It's just getting easier and easier to split expenses with apps and online and just maintain your own purchasing power. That way, each person has independent decision-making skills.
One thing you brought up previously was credit scores.
Yeah.
And that's one reason why some married couples do not combine their finances. If one person has a really bad credit score, you keep separate finances so that if you're going to buy a house or something, the person with the really good credit score is the one who takes out the loan.
Yep.
Oh, and then you end up like our buddy in Baltimore who's stuck with a house.
That's right. Jeez Louise.
I do love how your recommendation for someone who's newly married is to listen to a divorce proof. just in case you think.
Just in case.
If you want your marriage to work, then you should listen to this episode, but maybe you don't. So,
We did get an email from someone who said they took our advice and they're getting married and they're going to have those conversations about finances.
That's
and it
awesome.
sounds like it's working out pretty well for them.
Yeah. So don't make fun of our episode. It's helping people.